Okay. Hello, thank you for taking this time and participating in this interview. My name is Alejandro Santana, and I'm currently conducting this research interview on behalf of UF to better understand the experiences of undergraduate architecture students such as yourself who are nearing graduation. We are conducting this research in order to understand the challenges and concerns faced by architecture students approaching graduation. And particularly, we're interested in their transition from the university life onto the next career or educational path. The insights that you will provide in this interview are invaluable and will help us improve our support services for students like yourself. All of your responses will be kept confidential. And before we begin, do you have any other questions about the interview process?
I do not.
Okay. So just to get things started, I just want to ask a couple questions to get to know you. If you could just introduce yourself, tell me who you are, what's your major, and a little bit about your background.
So I'm Jacob Geller. I'm a senior at University of Florida, and I'm an architecture student. I'm from Miami, and my parents are from Puerto Rico and
That's good. So you mentioned that your parents are from Puerto Rico. Are you the first in your family to go to college in the US or in general?
no.
Okay.
Both my parents went to college. My mom actually came here to the US to go to college. She went to Nova, and that was like her first time living in the US. She left her family just to go to university, and then eventually her sister joined her. And then my dad actually went to UF, just like me, and FIU.
Okay. So you mentioned that your dad went to UF and then your mom also went to college in the US. Given that your parents went to college, was that process, can you give me sort of if that was helpful in your admission to or sort of applying to colleges, if that was like a benefit and sort of how that benefited you or things like
Yeah,
that?
I think so. My dad obviously like leaned towards me going to UF, and originally I liked the idea of going to UF. It has a great program, I like the campus a lot, and my dad loves to, explore the campus, and he went to a frat, so he loved to visit the frat, and he just liked to show me around. It's almost like a bonding. So yeah, that definitely influenced my decision.
Okay. And was your dad also, what was his major?
He did something in finances. I can't remember, probably business, but then at FIU he switched over to like computer science.
And your mom, what did she major in?
She did accounting.
Okay. So what made you choose architecture? If you can give me kind of like did you know right away that you were going to choose it or what was that process like?
It was a decision between like creative professions, the DCP as a general, like I was potential for a major. Ever since I was a kid, like I've always been the creative type, I guess, or just I like building, I like
Mhm.
designing. And eventually that led me to discovering architecture and fostering, kind of passion for it. So I've grown to like it. And ever since I've been introduced to it, it's always been in my head that I want to major in architecture.
That's good. Could you kind of give me a brief description of your academic journey through architecture? Kind of give me what is the program like? Um, Sort of from when you got admitted up until now, how that experience has been.
Yeah, sure. So um, each semester we have critical tracking classes, and typically we have like a studio class, a digital class, and then like a history class, either history or theory. It alternates. So each semester we have each one of those, and the other two are typically pretty standard, like digital technologies and theory or history. So you learn, you lecture, do activities, but studio is the one that's your main course load. It's you typically like take on a project or two and just work on it throughout the entire semester, and then you can either have a midterm or a final, and you present your work. Um, a lot of the times it's you creating drawings or models, just a lot of process work to come to a final goal that typically has like a program or a narrative, but eventually you create like a building of some sort or some sort of concept.
Mhm.
And over the 4 years, it's kind of split up into like a lower division and then an upper division. So
Mhm.
like 2 years in, we're basically tested. Like we have to present the work we've done for the past 2 years, and then the faculty decide whether we get to go on or not. So that part was stressful, but thankfully I'm here. And as you get later into the upper divisions, the projects get bigger, more ambitious, and start to like become grounded in reality. Like right now, this semester, we're creating a porch like for a community in Port St. Joe.
Mhm.
So we're building like an actual physical thing, and it's like the class is building it and designing. So it's cool to see how we got here.
Could you to further elaborate on the design class or just all the classes you've taken in general? Can you kind of tell me the importance of the role of your professors are? Because I know the DCP college in general has a really high faculty to student ratio. So if you can tell me what the faculty the your professors' role are and how important it is in your evolution of your academic career.
Yeah, I'd say they're pretty important for each class. They usually typically act as like guides,
Mhm.
and they just teach you like, oh, this would be better, or this would not work like during your design process. Um, as well as professors, we also have like TAs that help us a lot. They're typically the day to day, and the professors will come like during class and they'll like either teach us about something or just kind of review our work. But they're instrumental to our learning. They're basically just like our mentors almost. They um just help us figure stuff out, but to guide us in the right direction.
And to go into more depth about the sort of your final work at every design class that you have, because you mentioned that you guys have a project that you build it for the semester, and then at the end you're critiqued, and sort of um, your performance is kind of dictates whether or not if you're able to be admitted to continue on to the architecture program. So if you could give me some highlights of like in your design classes, some things that your professors point out that were really good, maybe some critiques that were sort of negative but sort of constructive, and how their critiques in general have helped you.
Sure. If I could think, a lot of the times they'll compliment me on like, oh, this is like the craft on this is great because we have to make like digital models and like physical drawings a lot of the times. So they'll talk about, oh, this is executed very nicely. And a lot of the times in lower division, it's very conceptual. So it's sometimes hard to critique that because it's very subjective.
Mhm.
But they try to see like what we're trying to get at, like our vision, and typically they'll compliment us or not on like how well that's executed physically or just like how well our ideas have been expressed. But some critiques I've gotten are maybe, I don't know, timeliness, because a lot of the times our professors they'll see us like work, and a lot of times we just like can't produce enough work in time. So um just trying to put out as much work as you can, and the quality of your work is sometimes difficult. So
Mhm.
I
Okay.
would say that that's something I need to work on. And yeah.
Okay. So sort of jumping off of that, what are your feelings about upcoming graduation? What has your prep been like, if any, and what are your thoughts about your transition into whether or not if you want to go into the workforce or if you want to pursue more education, sort of like a master's? What is that thought process like?
So graduating, this May, thankfully.
Mhm.
Um, I plan to take a gap year just to gain some professional experience because I want to see how the professional field is before
Mhm.
deciding whether or not I want to pursue like a master's degree or just like higher education in general. But I
Mhm.
plan to take a gap year and then seek out a master's degree at, I don't know, some university. I've been having a few in mind. Um, yeah, that's my plan so far.
Okay. And then so throughout your semesters at UF, what kind of sort of key lessons have your professors like taught you that's important for like leading up to whether or not you want to go into higher education or if it's in the career field? I hear a lot about portfolio is very important. So what else that if you want to elaborate on portfolio or also include some additional key insights that they have, um, that's important.
Yeah, portfolio is a big one. That's basically like all graduate programs or jobs like will ask for portfolio, and basically that's just like a culmination of our 4 years of college or 4 years of work. So we're just trying to display it nice and neat for, I don't know, either recruiters or just like faculty to look and see like this is the work we've done, this is the quality, this is like this is who I am, this is my educational experience. And it's stressful. Like you're putting yourself out there
Mhm.
for you know, for people to see, people to judge you. Um, faculty have they've held like either resume building workshops or like portfolio building workshops to help us and guide us to see like this is the right thing to do, like don't do this, you know, do some notes. Um, so they try as much to help us out in the journey of becoming hired and just the job experience and graduate experience in general.
Okay. Um, so what could you tell me about any concerns or specific challenges that you or feel regarding that transition to post grad, your post grad plans? Um, anything?
Yeah. Um, just like finding the right fit at like a firm because I like that's basically my process right now. Just looking for like a firm to work at, just an entry level job or internship,
Mhm.
and I'm just hoping I'll pick the right one. And a lot of the times when we're being recruited, there are like, I don't know, entry level barriers because a lot of the times they'll require like you need to know like a specific program to enter or like they need to see your portfolio or they need a cover letter or something like that. And a lot of times we have this stuff, but sometimes we don't, we haven't learned like a specific program, for example, like Revit or AutoCAD.
Mhm.
And those are some of my concerns. Also, like it can get competitive because small, like private practices won't hire a lot of people, they'll hire maybe like one or two people.
Mhm.
So you have to apply early or else you'll like a spot will get taken.
Mhm. Okay. Um, Kind of to go into more detail about you mentioning sort of the programs that they look for. Um, so do you think it's valuable to, let's say, I don't know, if they provide if there's some sort of uh I'm forgetting the name, like
Like a
a
class or
certification or a class, maybe classes that provide at UF, or does UF provide any certifications, or is there anything that like are the and are certifications like kind of helpful, maybe like on your resume if recruiters look at that? Is that worth
yeah,
investing
that definitely would be helpful. And like providing classes for that would also be helpful or like workshops. I know some students try to like organize workshops for specific programs that they don't teach that a lot of offices or like want to see.
in? Hmm.
But a certificate system for students would be like a great idea. I know you can get certificates on like 3D modeling software, like Adobe software, and I'm sure they
Hmm.
look great on your resume.
Okay. But as of what you know, UF doesn't provide any certificate.
No, I don't think so. I
Okay.
know they provide some certificates as like no certificate for like modeling so like
Mhm.
programs that I know.
Okay. Got it. So kind of going back onto you mentioned the career fair. Besides the career fair, are there any other career services that you've looked at or any support for job search or further education that UF provides, or maybe like what platforms have you been able to use, if any?
I've heard UF provides some, but I haven't researched far enough. But I know College DCP has a lot of different things going on. Like specific clubs will have certain events. They'll have like networking events, or there was a mentorship program that I was a part of that basically you get to shadow over an architect and just follow them around in their day to day. And that helps to, you know, see their experiences and maybe connect with um, other people in the profession.
Hmm.
There are workshops, like I mentioned, that help just prepare you for your portfolio or your resume. Um, there's a career fair, and recently there was like an educational trip to New York where our professor got to take us around to firms in New York, and basically we got to just talk with them and you know see what they're all about and get their contact and socialize with them, get to know them. So there are a lot of helpful services, and I'm sure there's more that I haven't explored.
Are there any aspects of these services that you feel that can like have areas of improvement, or like because you mentioned that you haven't really heard of any like sort of online like career service options. I don't know if there's like some like sort of like portfolio upload or like some kind of hub that other people in your field can look at. um do you feel that there's some areas of improvement for the current services they provide, or maybe some like insight on what can be provided that would help improve that?
Yeah, I'm sure there could be an improvement in online things. From what I'm aware, there is no like online database of job searches for DCP. I know there's like Indeed and LinkedIn that I've briefly checked and browsed, but I haven't really used it. So I'm sure there could be like a university provided one that would be helpful. I'm not sure if that exists, but I haven't seen it.
So to go into more your experiences with sort of the more in-person networking opportunities at the career fair, can you share some of those experiences and how they
Yeah,
with your career
it's
plan?
nice to be able to talk to professionals, get their experiences, and
Hmm.
you get to practice like how to act in that sort of environment, and um you get a sense of their personality as well as they get a sense of your personality. So it's nice to have that interaction to see who they are as a person and what their company does. I have been to the career fair briefly and other like social networking events with professionals, and it's a good experience, I would say.
Okay. So kind of wrapping into my sort of final questions here. In your opinion, what skills do you believe in your that you've developed throughout your um, sort of educational stay here at UF are most beneficial in your plans to career path and further study? And what skills do you think, or knowledge you think you can sort of develop more to help you?
I would say I could I've both gained and need more experience in just like three, I mean, online like digital modeling programs or like 2D or 3D. Like because I've gained a lot of experience, but there's still um experience needed to be learned
Hmm.
to further pursue in the professional field. Um, UF architecture program has a great way of teaching you how to think. So I feel like that was a valuable experience learned. Um, And I feel um this might be a bit like out of the part, but they don't teach us like the business side of architecture
Mm,
because of owning like a private practice. I feel like maybe like one class or like a little seminar to try to like introduce us to that aspect
the
of the
business.
field would be helpful. So that would, yeah, that would be.
Okay, that's a good insight. And so I guess my final question would be, what skills or knowledge do you believe, if you were to, I don't know, talk to a sort of a UF student that's going into the architecture program, you as a senior going to graduate and kind of looking into the future to your career, what sort of skills and knowledge do you think that is essential for them to be successful, uh, both in academia and then the transition to working in the field?
I would say definitely use your references and get to know your peers and faculty because they will be your greatest help. And whether it's like designing something or just like decisions on a project or trying to find out um, about job experiences or just like they're very helpful in general because they've gone through that experience. So just talk to your faculty. Um, they offer help all the time. So it's easy to be able to take them up on that offer.
Okay. Well, Jacob, thank you very much for your time. Your insights today were very valuable, and we will work with what you've given us to help it, enhance the support services for architecture students. If you have any additional thoughts or feedback to share, you're free to do so.
I don't think I do, but thank you,
Thank you for your time.
of course.